Mindy Weisel was the first person to be born at the Displaced Persons camp at Bergen-Belsen. But her work is not about the tragedy of the Holocaust, it's about the passion of life, as is this major exhibition at the Kreeger Museum here in Washington, D.C. In an intimate space in 3 separate bodies of work, beauty has survived 2 massive human tragedies, the Holocaust and the tsunami that hit Japan in 2011. Though she herself did not live through either experience, they were events that unleashed an intensely emotional response in writer and artist Mindy Weisel.
Being the only daughter to 2 Holocaust survivors and the first child born in Bergen-Belsen after the war in a displaced persons camp, I was raised not having much space for my own emotion. It was watching my parents' face, making them happy. My mother lost her whole family. It was really having to be everything to these people.
Though the paintings inspired by the Holocaust are dark and bleak, they don't represent death alone. Instead, the artist was more preoccupied with the survival of beauty and hope.
That's all I wanted to do, is write my father's number down on 100 paintings. I just wrote and did beautiful, colorful paintings that looked very much like the new work, but felt this need to blacken them out. But I found that as much as I tried to blacken them all out to deal with the destruction of beauty, there was always light coming through.
A suitcase in the middle of the exhibition captures the spirit of survival and the ability of the human race to start over. Painted in cobalt blue, the colour Mindy Weisel most associated with her elegant but damaged mother, the case sits between the Holocaust paintings, which date back to 1979, and her newer series on the tsunami. A personal visit to work with survivors in Japan resulted in an intense fascination with handcrafted Japanese paper.
So I took the blackest piece that had little flowers at the end, all handmade, and I didn't know what I was going to do.
The result is a series of explosive works packed with colour and emotion.
She's a very emotional painter. So obviously it's all emotion that comes through, but it was an actual occurrence that spurred on the emotion into the paintings or collages. So I felt that was meaningful.
If Mindy Weisel wants one thing to be known about her, it's that she's very much alive. But her art has been affected by the stories of death and destruction with which she grew up.
I start each work by writing, and so I would write out the story, and then I would just make one mark, would follow another mark, would follow another mark. And of all the marks I made, the actual process of painting, my father's number always survived. It was never so hidden that it didn't show.
Mindy Weisel paints feelings. She says you can change thoughts and ideas, but you can't change feelings. And these works of art are highly emotional. Nina Maria Potts for JN1 in Washington.